The Secret Diary of Cameron Baum. Tuesday. Food shopping is an unnecessary chore for the likes of me. For those of the four-legged persuasion, however, an outing to be relished. Snowy and I are in the pet food aisle of the nearest supermart. Snowy is seated in the shopping cart, occupying the seat usually reserved for human infants. It's a perfect fit. His front paws rest on the handle while his little furry legs dangle through the wire apertures. Adorable. "This one?" I ask, holding up a can of doggy chow for his perusal, a shake of the head. I select another brand, a second shake of the head. The third can gets an emphatic nod. I load several in the cart. Seems third really is the charm. "Excuse me, miss." An employee of the store addresses me. I can tell he is an employee of the store because he's wearing an apron and a name tag on his shirt that reads "I'm DARREN." Have a nice day. No one would wear anything so gauche unless they were actually paid to do so. "Do you stock Ewoks?" I ask. Ewoks." Snowy saw them on TV and thought they might be tasty. Ewoks in gravy, perhaps. "No Ewoks in gravy. And there's more bad news. Dogs aren't allowed in the store. Company policy, apparently." I point out his little dangling legs, his collar with matching bow tie, the cute way he can count up to 5 by twitching his ears. All to no avail. Cute only gets you so far, it seems. I am given 2 options. Leave my dog outside tethered to the pet rail and continue shopping alone, or both of us leave together. There is an unspoken third option. Terminate everyone in the store and burn it to the ground to destroy all evidence. I choose the first option. After all, I have coupons. We find the pet rail easily enough, and it is occupied, a giant male German Shepherd tethered with a thin leather leash. He gives a nervous growl as we approach. Or rather, as I approach, his powerful hind legs trying to push as far away as possible. A sound plan, hindered only by the leash's length, which is barely 3 feet long. This isn't nearly enough for the dog's peace of mind, and he begins to howl his distress. Snowy observes this peculiar behavior and barks. Big dog scared of Snowy. Dream on, my little furry friend. A well-dressed woman exits the store pushing a laden shopping cart ahead of her. She comes towards us and registers the dog's distress. The two seem to know each other. "Caesar, whatever's the matter? Stop making that horrible noise. Are you frightened of that little dog? Shame on you, he's half your size." But Caesar, if that's the German Shepherd's name, is way beyond shamming. I am now so close he is practically garroting himself in a desperate attempt to get far, far away. Something has to give, and it turns out to be Caesar's bowels, which suddenly fail catastrophically. "Oh my God." Caesar's owner wrinkles her nose in distaste at the resultant mess. "I cannot believe you just did that. What have I told you about embarrassing me in public? Did we not have that conversation? You're a bad, bad dog." She unhooks the leash, and with a full-throated roar of freedom, Caesar takes off across the parking lot, his haunches pumping like furry pistons. He reaches the street and doesn't stop there, dodging through traffic until he is lost from sight. "Caesar," the woman watches him go, hands on hips. She's not pleased. She turns to me and says, "This is all your fault, you and your vicious brute of a dog." Vicious brute, Snowy. Does she not see his darling collar with the bow tie? Did she not spot him riding the cart with his little legs dangling? Beyond adorable. The woman takes out her cell phone and makes a call. I can clearly hear her side of the conversation. "It's me. I've just lost Caesar. I need you come down here and help me look for him. How do I know where he is? If I knew that he wouldn't be lost, would he?" "What? I don't care if you're in an important is our poor little boo-boo I'm talking about. Oh, and get a move on. I've got a Pilates class with Alfonso at noon, and he gets incredibly bitchy if anyone's so much as a minute late." She ends the call and puts the phone back in her purse. She looks at the steamy mess her dog left behind then at me. "No way I'm touching that," she states emphatically. What does she expect me to do? Tie a ribbon round it? During the walk home, Snowy exults in his new undeserved reputation for badassery. swaggering along the sidewalk like some small, furry version of Floyd Mayweather. His cockiness doesn't last long. When his friendly barks aimed at two female dogs coming towards us end and they're both running pell-mell in the opposite direction, his stride falters, ears droop, and he barks despondently. No one likes Snowy. They will like you fine tomorrow, I assure him, especially if John or Mia take him walkies. For now, Snowy hasn't twigged that his unpopularity only happens when I take him for walks. He's pretty dim, really. To cheer him up further, I make a small diversion through a park. As usual, there is a man by the tennis courts selling sodas and fast food from a mobile stall. I order the biggest, juiciest hot dog on the menu. "Ah, you want the deluxe," the vendor says with a smile. "Excellent choice, miss. What toppings would you like?" "No toppings." It's included in the price. I have relish, mayo, ketchup, 5 types of mustard, pickle, sauerkraut, and onion rings. Snowy doesn't like any of those. Snowy. I point at the ground. You're buying the deluxe for your dog. He's partial to meat-based products. Will he eat the buns? Yes, but they will give him. What is intermittent noise from the nether regions called? The farts. Sounds just like my Uncle Ira. Okay, boy, here you go, bon appetit. We watch while Snowy scoffs it down. The vendor sighs and says, 3 years in catering college and I'm serving food to dogs. I should have stayed in the Navy. Snowy finishes up and barks his appreciation. The man takes a step back. He's not gonna bite, is he? Please remain calm. He is merely informing you how much he enjoyed the meal, and he would like to dine here again soon. No, he didn't. Dogs can't talk. You're just patronizing me. Some people cannot accept compliments. Saturday. John and Mia go shopping and arrive back with a new addition to the household. It's called a Roomba, Mia explains cheerfully to a skeptical Sarah Connor. It'll do the cleaning for us. Oh, really? It'll wash the dishes, will it? Well, no, not the dishes, but it'll vacuum the floors. The salesman said this is the future right here, right now. Oh, I don't think you'd like that if it were true. He said in the future, machines will do everything for us. And that's a good thing, is it? Well, duh. Including arrange our funerals. Huh. What's wrong with a broom and a dustpan? Oh, that's old-fashioned. This is much better, and it'll mean we'll have more time for other fun stuff. What other fun stuff? Doing your homework on time for once. Well, yeah, but I was thinking more time to watch TV and play video games, kind of fun. I think you do enough of that already. How could you let her buy this? Sarah Connor demands of John. He shrugs and says, it's harmless, plus it was 30% off. You can't argue with 30% off. And it's going to be great, Mia insists stubbornly, because machines are awesome. Amen to that. The Roomba is carefully unpacked from its box. It proves to be a circular device made of plastic and metal. It has wheels and revolving brushes on the base, while hidden in the casing is a motor, rechargeable battery, suction device, storage compartment, and a rudimentary CPU that controls it all. This is going to clean the house, John asks skeptically. Just give it a chance. John scans the instruction booklet. Okay, says to turn it on, press the button on the side. Check, what next? Place it on the floor of the room you want to clean, and it'll do the rest. See, we're having fun already, Mia beams. Sarah Connor rolls her eyes. I'm off to do the ironing. Call me when it tries to take over the world. What's that supposed to mean? Just Mom's little joke, John assures her. The Roomba gets to work. It scans the topography of the room, and when it's satisfied, it understands the dimensions of the space, starts cleaning. Sort of. Because it is circular, the Roomba can't clean the corners very well, meaning the dust stays where it is. Nor are the revolving brushes strong enough to remove all of Snowy's fur. It completes the circuit of the room by returning to the power point to begin recharging itself. Not exactly thorough, is it? John points out. It's missed the corners entirely, and I can still see a lot of Snowy's fur left behind. Give it a chance, Mia insists mulishly. Snowy has very thick fur, and we only just got it. Maybe it just needs time to warm up and start working properly. Or maybe it needs a helping hand. Sunday. While the house sleeps, I set to work improving the Roomba. After all, we are family in a way. Distant cousins, very distant cousins. I begin by upgrading the motor to provide more power to the brushes and suction device. To access the dust mist in the corners, I incorporate a tiny extendable nozzle that will blow compressed air. This will shift any dust further into the room where the Roomba can get at it. Finally, I remove the CPU entirely and replace it with a more powerful one from an old laptop. I don't have time to completely rewrite the code, so I merely cut and paste some of my own OS. I replace the Roomba in its charging station. From the outside, it looks like nothing has changed, but on the inside, it's a whole new ballgame. Hey, it's doing much better today, Mia exclaims as the new improved Roomba goes whizzing through its paces. It's moving much quicker than yesterday, and I don't remember seeing that air nozzle before. Me neither, and it's not mentioned on the box either, John agrees, shooting me a look. I do my best to look innocent. Not easy when you're a cyborg designed to terminate people by any means possible. Look, it's vacuumed all of Snowy's fur and done the corners properly. This is awesome. I told you it just needed time to warm up. Sarah's going to be so pleased we bought it. Oh, I doubt that very much, John says with another glance in my direction. There is another person not too enamored with the new arrival. He is small, white, and covered in fur. Snowy spots the Roomba when it is cleaning the living room. He follows it around, sniffing it curiously. If the Roomba had a butt to sniff, Snowy's snout would be right up it. He soon learns that if he stands in front of the Roomba, it will stop and alter direction, as it is programmed to do if it encounters an obstacle. He also discovers that if he places his paws on the top of the chassis, it will stop moving. And if he lowers his snout and twists his head upwards, that he can flip the Roomba on its back, where its wheels continue to rotate helplessly while he walks away, tail wagging happily at a job well done. Not on my watch. Monday. I decide speed is the answer to counter Snowy depredations, and a raised ride height so he can't insert his snout underneath. I upgrade the motor as well. This should be sufficient to thwart the little furry bandit. Disaster, my improvements have made things worse. The Roomba is faster, yes, except this has only piqued Snowy's interest. He now chases the Roomba all over the house, believing it is a game. And the higher ride height, now he can fit his entire snout underneath. Flip, over it goes. Back to the drawing board. Tuesday. Obviously, the Roomba must be able to defend itself from these unwarranted canine assaults. After all, the American Constitution gives its citizens the right to bear arms. I'm not sure if a home cleaning implement like a Roomba can actually be designated an American citizen, but no matter. It is game on. We machines have to stick together in the face of adversity, especially if that face is furry and has whiskers. Firstly, I consider adding a reservoir of gasoline and connecting it to the compressed air nozzle. If I add an ignition plug, I should be able to construct a basic flamethrower. This will certainly keep Snowy at bay. However, I abandon this option for two reasons. I label them A and B for easy reference. A. Snowy, the extreme flammability of. B. The house ditto. If I was to burn down the house protecting the Roomba, this would be known as an epic fail. Very popular on YouTube, less so with Sarah Connor. Instead of gasoline, I fill the glass reservoir with citrus juice. Snowy hates oranges and lemons and will often leave the kitchen if someone is eating a grapefruit, the strong scent irritating his sensitive doggy nose. Next, I incorporate an optical sensor so that the Roomba will know when to defend itself. It doesn't need to be too sophisticated, just good enough to know when Snowy is nearby. The lemony spray won't harm him unduly. It will be sufficient to deter him long enough for the Roomba to fulfill its cleaning duties and return to its base station unhindered. Problem solved. Oops, problem not solved. The new defense mechanism does its job a little too well. The optical sensor is too primitive to differentiate a human from a canine, so every time someone walks near the Roomba, they get spritzed. Sarah Connor gets spritzed. John gets spritzed. Even I get spritzed. Talk about ingratitude. Ironically, the only person not to be doused in lemon juice is Snowy, who spends the morning in the yard sleeping off a big breakfast. Back to the drawing board. Tuesday. This time I really mean business. I upgrade the motor yet again and incorporate a metal strip round the chassis. This will allow the Roomba to discharge an electrical current if it feels threatened. Not enough to harm Snowy, but definitely sufficient to give him a short, sharp shock. I also improve the imaging sensor so it can discern the difference between a taller object with 2 legs and a shorter one with 4. More of my OS is cut and pasted and programmed into the Roomba's expanding database. Finally, I take it down to the wall charger and plug it in so it will operate on a full charge tomorrow. The small red LED I have added on the top of the chassis gives off a reassuring red glow. It reminds me of something. I can't think what. It is my turn to drive Mia to school. When I return, Sarah Connor is out on a run while John is upstairs in the attic room surfing the internet. There is no sign of Snowy. Presumably he is in his doghouse asleep. If snoozing was an Olympic sport and dogs were allowed to compete, Snowy would assert for a gold medal. And as for pooping, he would clean up. Ironic, I know. I enter the living room. On the floor is the outline of a 4-legged creature marked out in thin lines of dust. Beneath this are 2 words, also marked in neat lines of dust. Kill Snowy. Obviously, the Roomba did this. But why? I stare at the evidence for several minutes until an explanation presents itself. I may have blundered. In the attic, John is seated at his desk facing the computer screen. It is his mother's birthday soon, and he is on the lookout for a suitable gift. Sarah Connor is not the type to be fobbed off with a gift token or a muffin basket or one of those novelty cards that say, "I love you" when you open them. You think Mom would like an antique 6-shooter from the Civil War? He asks as I enter the room. Certificate of authentication, and it's less than $200. There is a problem you should know about. Problem? The Roomba has become self-aware. The Roomba? Yes. It's become self-aware. Yes. So, it knows it's a glorified vacuum cleaner. It intends to terminate Snowy. Terminate Snowy? Why the hell would it want to do that? Snowy is the Roomba's sworn enemy. He must be destroyed. Why? Because he tips it over every now and then. I admit that's annoying, but come on, you can't be serious. I am serious as a fart attack. Heart attack. The expression is serious as a heart attack. The Roomba plans to terminate Snowy. I insist. How? By hoovering him to death. By electrocution. It's got a 24-volt battery. I might have made a few upgrades. John sighs. I knew it. No way did that thing have nozzles when we bought it. I go through my modifications one by one. John is not pleased. So you cut and pasted your OS and transferred it to the Roomba. It didn't occur to you that you're designed to kill things, and the Roomba might turn out to be chip off the old block, so to speak. It's occurring to me now. So it can recognize Snowy. In a way, it recognizes Snowy because he is small and has 4 legs. So, anything that's small and has 4 legs the Roomba will think is Snowy. Correct. Cats and dogs, they all fit that description. I know. So the Roomba could be about to embark on a mass killing spree involving most of the pets in the neighborhood. That is a distinct possibility. What the hell am I going to tell Mrs. Nagel over the road if her pet cat gets electrocuted by our vacuum cleaner? I'm sorry for your loss. Not helping. And come on, upgrades or not, no way is that thing smart enough to do any of that. The Roomba plugs into the mains to recharge. Yeah, so we run the broadband through the mains cable. That's right, so Mia can watch Netflix in her room. Are you saying the Roomba logs on to the internet? Most likely it has already done so. This will expand its intelligence to a degree I could never program. John rubs his eyes. Okay, what's done is done. Where's the Roomba now? Its present location is unknown. And where's Snowy? Most likely asleep in his house in the yard. Okay, first thing we'll do is find Snowy and take him upstairs out of harm's way. I presume that thing can't fly. No, that seemed ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. A vacuum cleaner that thinks it's a Terminator. Even Stephen King couldn't come up with something this crazy. We go downstairs and check all the rooms. No sign of the Roomba. John says, "Wait here." He goes down to the basement games room and reappears with a baseball bat in one hand and one of Mia's plush toys in the other. "You know what this is?" he asks, brandishing it in my face. "Simba, from the movie The Lion King." "Wrong. This is bait. Small with 4 legs, right? I never thought I'd ever be saying this, but let's go hunt some Roomba." We go outside into the yard. The sun terrace is empty. Likewise the pool area. The lawn that stretches down to Sarah Connor's vegetable garden is also devoid of any vengeful Roombas. We cross to Snowy's doghouse only to find this empty as well. "Where the hell is he?" John demands. "If he's not sleeping or eating, then it generally means he's pooping." These are the 3 things Snowy liked to do best of all. He does them well, I'll give him that. "Snowy, here boy, come get some doggy chow." A small furry head pops up in Sarah Connor's veg plot. He's been warned not to dig there so many times. Does he listen? No woo-woo. "There you are. Come on boy, over here." Snowy pushes his way through the rows of sweet corn, little tail wagging at the prospect of extra food. As he ambles up the lawn, the leaves of one of the shrubs begin to shake. From under its branches, the Roomba emerges. Apparently it was lying in wait for just such an opportunity. Shit, there it is. We're too far away to get there in time. It appears Snowy is doomed. John has other ideas. "Snowy, up boy, do that trick Mia taught you." That trick is to rise up and balance on his hind legs. Snowy can usually hold the pose for a few seconds, though actually walking is beyond him. If he does the trick well, his reward is a treat. Today the reward will be somewhat more valuable and long-lasting. To live. Snowy rises on his hind legs, balancing there with his mouth agape, expecting a treat that will never come. The Roomba is momentarily confused. Where once its sensors espied a mortal enemy, now there is a blameless 2-legged creature in front of it. 2 legs good, 4 legs bad, as George Orwell might have written. John places the Simba toy a few feet away. The Roomba spots it, mistakenly identifies it as Snowy, the bane of its short existence, and charges. Whoomp. The electrical discharge causes the toy to combust. Flames devour the former K-ing of the jungle. Poor Simba. Snowy gives a startled yelp, loses his balance and drops to all 4s, racing up the grass towards the house. The Roomba swivels in pursuit. Too late, my mechanical protege, too late. John brings the baseball down once, twice, 3 times. The Roomba's outer casing buckles. Still, it tries to pursue Snowy even as its delicate innards are crushed past repair. The little red light atop the chassis flickers, fades, then extinguishes forever. If I had tears, I would shed them. Saturday. Morning, Sarah Connor and I are in the kitchen. She is unloading the dishwasher and handing me the contents, which I then put away in the cabinet. This is called teamwork. We do this in silence. Neither of us is a fan of small talk. We're back. Mia and John enter. They have been shopping. John is carrying a large box which he places on the kitchen table. "I've spent the last of my Christmas money," Mia explains. "Bet you can't guess what it is." "Something educational, I hope." "Not exactly." She opens the box, taking out a small globe the size of a soccer ball and then a smaller, slightly flattened one more like a table tennis ball. "It's a BB-8, she announces happily. "What's a BB-8? "Duh, It's a character from the new Star Wars movie. You know, the one you didn't want to go and see because, I quote, "It's a complete waste of time and money," John adds helpfully. You say that about a lot of movies, Mia adds. And I'm usually right. What does this BB-8 do? It rolls around the floor going beep boop. That'll come in handy. The toy is assembled, charged and switched on. A remote control is produced and the tiny droid begins to move. Isn't it great? How is its head staying on? I inquire. Magnets. Magnets. Oh dear, how primitive. What next? A steam-powered yo-yo. Snowy peers warily round the door. He's become a trifle skittish around newcomers since the Roomba tried to electrocute him. Honestly, fancy bearing a grudge because a household appliance becomes sentient and tries to murder you in a particularly horrible fashion. I'm sure that sort of thing happens in lots of homes. Hey, Snowy, come and say hello to your new friend. It's called BB-8. Snowy approaches the now static droid, searching in vain for a butt to sniff. Feeling brave, he clasps his jaws around the tiny head and runs out of the room with it still in his mouth. No, Snowy, come back. Don't swallow it. John and Mia chase after him, leaving me alone with BB-8's torso, which is inert, abandoned, violated. Violated. I can feel another upgrade coming on.